So, welcome to the Real Estate Talk Show. I'm Neil Peterson from REI, and today we're unpacking a hot button topic for home sellers. Say no to sole mandates. Some old playbooks costing you time and money? Our guest certainly argues yes, and she's built an alternative model, which we'll hear about today. And joining me is Jo Eichweber. She's an entrepreneur and founder of Powerhouse Property Group in the Garden Route, advocating an innovative coordination model that flips the script, where agents compete to bring the buyer, not to lock down the mandate. With almost 25 years in successful sales and marketing, she's redefining an industry for the better of her clients and like-minded agents. And today, we'll uncover some pricing traps, collaboration, commission structures, advertising rotations, and her 3 challenge questions every seller should ask before signing anything. Jo, it's great to have you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure, man. So, Jo, let's start off with this whole situation with sole mandates. Your stance is very clear, and you say no to sole mandate. I mean, what's broken with the traditional sole mandate playbook from a seller's perspective?
You know what, Neil? It's outdated, in my opinion. And it is for the benefit of the agent, not the seller. So an agent wants a sole mandate because then they know they have sole control. And and it's time for collaboration. It's time for a system that manages all these agents, because there are plenty, as you and I both know. I just feel that it was really time for someone to stand up and say, look, guys, we all need to work together, and I'm willing to coordinate that.
Okay, great. So let's talk a little bit about sort of the misaligned incentives that are out there in the market at the moment. I mean, can you maybe just share a prime example, of like how that actually hurts price or time to sell on the market?
So what happens is an agent is trained primarily to acquire the sole mandate. So when they come in, that is their number one goal. And they will literally say anything that a seller needs to hear in order for the seller to say, oh, wow, okay, yeah, this agent's going to give me the most money. It's usually an overpricing issue. So we're going to go with that agent. And then what happens is that agent is then trained to do what we call price counseling. And over a period of time, so now they've come in and they've said to the seller, oh, your house is worth 10 million, even though the house is actually only worth 6.5 million. And then they trained over time to build a relationship with the seller and to say, look, we haven't had a lot of buyers in the first 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe we bring it down. Maybe we do that. And then after 6 to 9 months, nothing has happened. The property is stale on the market. People start to think, sure, what's wrong with this property? And when you do finally get down to the 6.5 mark, now people are concerned. So then they're not even going to get 6.5. Then they're going to get 5.8 or 5.7 because, they must be desperate. Now they're coming down. So when you remove that from the agent's sort of list of what they need to do, and they're now no longer competing for the sole mandate, they're now going to compete for the buyer. It works far more effectively, but the agents don't really want people to know that. I mean, I've even had a couple that are quite angry with the fact that I've come out and said, listen, this needs to change.
Absolutely. So let's delve in just a little bit deeper to overpricing and price counseling, because I think specifically you're talking about your typical home seller. Your property investor tends to be a little bit more educated, if I may put it that way.
Sadly.
So, but let's talk. I mean, you say some agents overprice to win the listing, then price counsel later, but then the listing's dead. I mean, how can sellers detect this situation earlier?
I sometimes wonder if sellers really want to detect it earlier because, money always talks. It's a difficult one.
Yeah.
But I would say if you're not in a place where a model like this exists, where someone can coordinate the activities of the agents, you need to at least get 3 to 5 evaluations, CMA, reports, etc. And then you need to sit at a table and you need to look at all of these evaluations that the agents have brought in, and look at the average of that. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult for you, especially if you're going to take on, bigger brands, for example. They're all going to come in high. They're all that is what they're trained to do. I mean, I've been in and out of this industry since my daughter was 3 years old. She is now 24. So I know exactly what they train you to say and to do, the questions and so forth. So the best way is to eliminate that completely. And we actually do that at Powerhouse. We bring in anonymous group valuations. So I arrange for, call it 10 to 15 agents that I know are experts in that area to come in for an hour or so. They walk around. I mean, agents that know what they're doing and that know their area well, they can walk into a house and within 15 minutes, they know what that house is worth. But they're trained to go back, draw the report, then go back to the seller, build relationship, build rapport. That agent knows exactly what that house is worth. So now we eliminate that competition. We say, here, guys, fill out on our system. You fill out your anonymous value, what you feel that the range of the property is worth. And we create a pie chart for the client. And we say, look, we've had 15 guys here. We've eliminated the competition for sole mandate. So they're going to be brutally honest. And that usually comes out quite accurate. The average of that, it's actually unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, there's so many good data points. I mean, you mentioned CMA. There's also Lightstone, and there's a lot of other, sort of valuation models that we could look at. And so I think there should be transparency with that. But so just a little bit more. Let's talk about your Powerhouse model in practice. I mean, it shifts competition from winning the mandate to winning the buyer. So how does your coordination model actually work? I mean, just explain it in sort of layman terms.
Okay. So basically what I do is my client signs an authorization mandate with me, authorizing me to control all marketing activity on the property. I will then get all the legal documentation together once. So the seller only needs to sit with me, call it for 45 minutes. We fill out the disclosures. We do all the FICA, all that legal jargon that they actually would need to do with every single agent. I mean, that's actually what's expected of them. I do that one time. I then this is also what's different with Powerhouse compared to other agents that will say, oh, no, but we'll also share with other agents. They'll take a sole mandate. They won't actively phone, another agent and go, hey, I just got this listing, come and work. They first want to see if they can sell it themselves. I actively, from the get-go, I invite the initial group of estate agents around for a group listing day. They walk through the house. On a silver platter, I hand them all the admin, all the details of the house, all the details of the seller, FICA, mandatory property disclosure. I mean, everything is spoon-fed to them on that day. We even have a barista that comes around and gives them coffee. Then they walk around, they list the property. I then open up a WhatsApp group. Each property has a WhatsApp group where I detail, feedback and so forth. And then the agents go, they can list on their own platforms. And then we have an AI-generated system that creates a rotating calendar for Property 24 and private property, which is also unheard of. Once you've got a sole mandate, you don't allow other agents to advertise your property on Property 24 and private property, where we do. So they fill out on the system, they fill out all their details, they fill out a couple of other things, and then the system spits out a calendar, and it says, okay, this was the first guy that filled in his form. He's going to have the first 21 days. In 7 days' time, the next agent's going to come and they're going to have 21 days. So you're constantly refreshing that advert on Property 24 and on private property without saturating it into 3 days. Because, if you've got the chaos of an open mandate, now you've got 10 agents that come around. The first thing they want to do is get on Property 24. Then you've got 10 ads within 48 hours of the same house. By the time a seventh ad is up, it must be so annoying for the buyer. But now we're doing that, but in a more strategic manner. We're saying, okay, cool. We're not going to do it all within 24 hours. I'm going to control that. I manage all the appointments. I open up the property. I close. I make sure that the client gets feedback, because a lot of agents are busy. They run around. They forget to give feedback to the client. My client gets feedback. They know where they are. And the best part, when it comes to time of offer, I sit with my seller and I offer them unbiased advice on that offer, which is taken on the other agent's contract as well. It doesn't need to be on a Powerhouse contract. And we go through and we say, okay, fine. This is the offer. Okay, it's great. But they need to sell their house in Pretoria. Well, then obviously we're not going to sign without a 72-hour clause, which a lot of the contracts leave out. I know, because I've worked for some of the bigger brands. Or they might detail in there, okay, we give you the 72-hour clause, but only if one of our agents comes with another buyer, which means that other agents then can't sell that property any longer. And many times people miss this, because the average guy isn't signing contracts every day. And I sit and I go through and I help them with all those details. So I'm really like a property assistant.
Absolutely. So it must be quite a big method to keep this whole thing orderly, because it could become chaotic and almost like herding cats in some ways. Because agents, as you mentioned, they're all over the show. They're busy. They've got lots of appointments. I know they don't like admin. Certainly, you take a lot of those sort of things away. But how do you manage to keep it orderly?
So I am a big advocate for WhatsApp groups. So they're like filed on my phone, and I keep all the cats herded into the kraal on different WhatsApp groups. I'm big on communication, Neil, and I believe that I'm good at it. So I'm quite good with keeping records, knowing, okay, this guy was here that day. And with technology these days and AI assistance and prompts, I mean, it's just amazing what you can do if you know how to use the tools at your fingertips, really. So I'll get a message, for example, I'll get a message this week. We're busy with the transaction on a resort here. And I need to remember to phone the client. Well, it's actually the agent on Wednesday. I've got a reminder on my phone for that. Then I just pick up the phone or I WhatsApp them and I say, listen, you haven't given us feedback. What's happening? I just remind them. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm good at it, I suppose.
Yeah. So that's how you prevent all the turf wars or the double handling, while trying to manage
Yes.
and staying fair to everybody. Okay,
That is exactly why we use the AI system.
mhm.
And it's also so the first agent, it goes by, it sorts by the agent who fills in the form the fastest, and then it goes according to that. So if you filled in your form fast and it goes through the system, you will get the first 21 days to advertise. I don't want to have agents coming to me and saying, oh, but you like Cynthia more, so Cynthia always gets to advertise first. I don't do it like that. I'm extremely, extremely fair. And when we have a buyer as well, we have a buyer form. And when the agent wants to bring the buyer through, they have to fill that out because buyers can also be scary creatures sometimes, you know. They'll see a house with an agent, and now that I've been in this sort of business concept, I've noticed it more and more. They'll see a house with an agent, and then they'll see, oh, but it's advertised with another agent that I actually know, and maybe I can get it for cheaper through the other agent. It's crazy what these guys do. But now we have this system, and then I'll phone and I'll say, but this guy has already been through the house with X. Now, can you imagine if you're just a seller, you don't know these things, and then what are you hit with? Double commissions claim.
Exactly.
Because wait, I brought the buyer first.
Absolutely.
So we have systems and forms that deal with that,
Okay.
effectively.
Excellent. So just walk us through your group listing day. I mean, do you bring agents, bond originators, attorneys? I mean, how does it work? I mean,
Yes. So on the group listing day, it's mainly agents, though I will have a bond originator there. I will have an attorney there if the agents have any questions. And more recently, we're partnering up with Forex consultants, so they're also there. So it almost becomes like a small networking group as well, which is fantastic. Then the agents will arrive. Call we've maybe at most we've had 25, 30 on a day, but usually we have about 15. Then I open the house up, I put on the lights, I make sure everything is nice. They can come through, they can take photos, or we are looking at offering a package that they can purchase a package that will have one photographer that comes in, stages the property, takes beautiful photos, and they can opt to purchase that package or they use their own photographers. And then they walk through the house, they have a lovely experience. Everything is there for them. They can ask their questions. The attorney is there if they've got any questions for the attorney. Bond originators there. Takes about 45 minutes to an hour, though I have the listing. The listing is set out for 2 hours on the day. Because, I mean, you can't have 30 agents all at once coming through a property. It's madness. And then that's it. Off they go. I explain. Sometimes they're new agents that come in. I explain what's going to happen, that from here, you're going to get a WhatsApp group will be opened. You're going to be added to that. I mean, I explain it very nicely to them. And some of them love it. Some of them love it because they hate admin. And
absolutely.
here is a company that is giving them listings and all the admin is done. The FICA is done. The property disclosure document is done. Everything is handed to them.
Wonderful. So let's start arming the sellers. I know you've got a 3-question, your 3 challenge questions. Do you want to maybe just share them?
Now you're asking me about that. Was the first article I wrote, and I'm having a blank moment. But I know one of the most important items for me is that you always need to ask your agent, if you're going to share with another agent, are you actively inviting other agents to my property? Or are you going to sign this mandate and then other agents must approach you? Because other agents are not just going to approach other agents. It's not the norm. It's not really done. Sometimes they'll phone. And then when they do phone, now they gather the guts to phone the sole mandate agent. how much are you going to offer? How much are you going to offer? What's your split? Now, maybe you don't like that agent and you say, oh, well, I'll give you 20% referral, or maybe you guys have worked in the past and you'll say, you know what, just give me 2 weeks first to see if I can sell this house. So no, just wait a bit, and then we can split 50-50. You need to ask the agent how actively they're going to network the property, because they all will come and say, oh, we'll share. But to what point will you share, agent, Mr. Agent, Mrs. Agent?
Yeah.
To what point, are you actively going to go out there and look for agents and say, listen, guys, I've got this house. Come, let's sell this house together. And you know what? I'm going to give you the bigger portion of the commission. Where has anyone heard of that?
No, absolutely.
Agents can be so greedy.
Yeah. So there's a lot of collaboration, a lot of cadence, communication, continuous. So let's just talk about a fair question. I mean, because sole mandates are still widely accepted in the market. And of course, if we look at all the sort of, the big estate agents, they push that narrative, quite hard. I mean, are there still, edge cases which you could see where a sole mandate still makes sense?
Oh, Neil.
Because you're doing the inverse, of course. So, I mean, so really, I mean, it's you're really trying to turn the industry, upside down. So do you think that there is still a case? Because surely in some ways they will still say, well, look, it's working for us. This is the way that we want. We want to push for that sole mandate. You want to think about that one?
Yeah, I can't say yes to that.
Okay, so maybe let me ask you this.
Can't say, yeah, I really believe, or I really feel that we should all be working towards a concept like this, where agents can feel that they can work with each other, that there's collaboration, there's partnership, I feel that there's enough to go around. Agents are always complaining about stock, and I suppose the sole mandate will probably always be there because you can't educate every single person. So
no, absolutely. So I think what you're doing is you kind of putting it out in a very transparent way, which a lot of agents are doing anyway. So they probably haven't arranged it with other agents, and I'm aware of that. There's a lot of agents, but you're really putting this model on the table for everybody to say, hey guys, don't do the sole mandate. This is how you can engage together. This is how you can help each other. And so I think what you're really doing is you're putting it out there and say, guys, this does work. And you know what? End of the day, we want to sell your property, and we it's the best for the seller, and it's a win-win kind of scenario. So maybe just then, Joe, just give us, for sellers that are intrigued by your model, if they want to move ahead and they want to work with you, what are the first 2 steps to engage with Powerhouse, and what kind of results could they expect in, let's say, 14 days? We don't expect it in a week or a day.
Yes. So this is it's very important to look at the type of property that we're dealing with. I mean, I can sell a house under 6 million without even going to official listing. I do silent auctions with the agents. So depending on the area, depending on the price range, but let's say we've got a house for 5.5 million. Basically, you just phone me. You phone me up. You WhatsApp me. You say, listen, I've got this property. I want to sell it quickly. Come and see me. And I'm going to come and have a cup of coffee with you. And we're going to take that house. We're going to take that house to market, and we'll probably sell it within 14 days. I think that as long as you're being realistic as well, though, mind you, I had a silent auction on a property in Wilderness. The average valuations that came in, including independent valuations, was 3.9. The property was quite dilapidated, but it was in a beautiful location. Now, I know that the demand for property in wilderness and property under 4 to 5 million is high. You just don't find it. So I said to the seller, look, let's not give her a number. Let's do the silent auction. We tell these agents, go out, find your buyers, bring them, and let's see what type of offers we get in. We did it over a 7-day period. We got 5 offers in within 7 days. We had about 15 agents working on that property. Now, remember, the valuation, the sort of average valuation that had come in was 3.9, Neil. We got a cash offer for 4.6 million.
Wow.
And it was a clean deal. So that also shows that depending on, obviously that's not going to happen if you've got a 25 million rand mansion, because there's not massive demand for that. So if you've got a property that's, more in the luxury market of 10 to 12 million, it is going to take longer to sell. It doesn't matter which agent you can have, a superwoman agent working on your property. It just doesn't happen that quickly.
No,
so
absolutely.
It depends. It's very difficult to say, okay, how long is it going to take? It depends on where are you selling, how many people are looking for property in that price range. But I tailor make all those strategies. I tailor all of them. Yeah.
Great. Well, Jo, I think there's some really big takeaways for the audience out there, and especially for other agents to certainly look at your model. So thank you for your insights. So to everybody out there, don't be dazzled just by listing promises. Follow the incentives, demand collaboration, and I think that's important. Data, also demand data, and also a rotation plan that keeps your listing fresh all the time. So, Jo, thank you very much. Please add to that.
Sorry, I just want to mention one more thing. Don't just let the agents tell you that they're going to collaborate with other agents. Ask for a plan. Ask for a mark. Actually, we're meant to be giving our clients a marketing plan, but so many agents don't do it.
Yeah.
So they really ask your agent for a marketing plan and how they are going to collaborate with other agents. That's how I'd like to end.
Wonderful. Great. Thanks for that. So if you're a seller and this resonated to you, you can reach out to Powerhouse Property Group to explore the coordination model. And if you're an investor, subscribe to the Investor Talk Show for more straight talk conversations that protect your equity and grow your returns. I'm Neil Peterson. I'll see you next time. Thank you.